Hi friends, I thought I'd take you along on a little crafting journey with me today. I'd like to show you how to put together my SVG flip-flop MemDex shaker from my Etsy store. This can be used as a card, as a MemDex, whatever you choose. But today I'm going to create a MemDex. So I've uploaded my images. You will receive 5 SVG files. And here they are here in my Cricut design space. You will also receive a digital paper 8.5 by 11 titled Bikini Babes that you will see me use as well. I'm just making sure that everything is here, and I will be resizing everything, so I want to make sure everything is right here in my workspace. This little MemDex card I created for this project specifically, and you can use it or not. You can use your own if you want, but if you resize it, just a little heads up that those holes will resize as well, so just keep that in mind. I'm just going to move this down here. I'm going to group all of these 4 SVG files right here, these 4 images, okay, and we're going to regroup them all at the same time so that they stay proportionate to each other. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of use this MemDex shape to eyeball how big I want my flip-flops. It's not really technical in the sizing. It's just kind of how I decide I want them. Now I'm going to need a left and a right flip-flop. So I'm going to duplicate this group, okay, because I'm going to print my Bikini Babes paper on one side. So I need to mirror image this group right here. I'm going to go to flip and flip horizontally. Okay, now I have a left and a right. I'm going to ungroup and just kind of regroup everything. I like to cut my frame out of just really simple 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I'm going to duplicate this by pushing the Alt button on my keyboard and the mouse at the same time, and I'm going to duplicate it 7 times, so I have a total of 8. That's just kind of the number I have chosen for myself. I'm going to also group the strap and duplicate this. I want to have 2, just so it's nice and sturdy. And then my acetate shape is always blue, so I can remember to change it and add my acetate to my mat. Now this base shape for the flip-flop, I am going to group and duplicate it because I want to cut it out of solid cardstock as well as my printed paper. Okay, so everything looks great. Let's go ahead and click Make It. I just want to show you really quick how to change the material size for the frames if you choose to do it this way. Over here on the left, it says material size, and you just click 8.5 by 11, and it places them all on 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And as you can see, all of our images are ready to cut. We have our acetate and our basic shape. So join me now at my craft table. Let's get this put together. So I've taken all of the pieces that I used, this is the frame piece, right? So I just stuck them all together. I think I put 8 or 9 in that, and I'll just finish this one up. Put my little thing in there, and just, I love a fine tip for my glue. Get that piece off there, and we'll just put this on here really fast. Okay, and just put that together and push it down, set it aside until I'm ready for that piece. Okay, and I've also taken, this is the flip-flop base, and this paper that I printed off on the paper that you will receive in the kit, what I'm calling a kit. I printed this on presentation card, but it's not super heavy, and I want my MemDex card to be really sturdy, so I'm just gonna glue that down on some, I think this is 80-pound cardstock, And the reason why I like to use wet glue on things like this is because it gives me some playing time. I can rearrange and move and the piece that I'm gluing down. Okay, so those two pieces are done. We're going to set those aside. Okay, so this is my top piece for my flip-flop. Okay, and I just realized I already have a left, so I need to make a right. So this one is, I've put this one together with the acetate, and I'll show you how I do that. I like to make it really sturdy again. So I have two of the frames, one I cut out of just the blue cardstock that I'm going to be using, and then just this white cardstock. So the same way as I did the other stack that I showed you. We're going to put that on there and have some wiggle room, and I just kind of make sure I push it through my fingers. I just kind of push it on. Now remember, the file is proportioned to everything, so to all the other pieces. So as long as you resize everything at the same time, you will get everything to fit perfectly. Okay, so now I have a piece of acetate, and this is going to be glued right on here. Okay, now I like to put just a thin line of glue right here around the edge, but I kind of do it a little bit towards the edge. If it's not all the way toward the edge, that's fine. Okay, now I let it sit for just a second, okay? Not for a super long period of time, but just to kind of get that, my chair is very squeaky, just to get it to have a little bit of, so it's not quite so thin, it builds a little bit of tack. And I just drop it down, move it over if you need to, and then I just press it down. Okay, press, 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 press. And since I only did a thin line of glue, I can just press that down, okay? And that piece is ready, all right? This is gonna come together really fast. Okay, this is the MemDex card. I have sequin mix all over. This is the MemDex card that comes in the kit, and I've cut it out twice out of the yellow, and as you will see, it matches the yellow on this, so that when I put them on here, it's just going to be a solid color on the back. Okay, before we do that, I'm going to put our sequin frame. I like to call this a frame gutter. It wouldn't be a gutter, I guess a corral. We're going to corral the sequin mix in here. So we have our two flip-flop frames done. Okay, now what I like to do is get it situated on my base here, which is the MemDex. And I'm going to kind of do it like, let's see, kind of mess around with it. Sometimes I put them side by side, but I want to do it kind of off kilter a little bit. So I'm just going to remember it's that sun and that where I want to start. Kind of at an angle. And even if I get glue outside where it's going to be stuck, it's not that big of a deal. And even if I don't get enough glue, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. So yep, see, just I kind of rub my finger on the inside of that. Okay. And I think I'm going to drop that one down just a little bit. Yeah, sure. It looks good. Just just for fun, right? And I'm going to put that there. There we go. Okay. Make sure that's stuck really well. Okay. Now I know a lot of people like to, I've seen people do shaker mixes, shakers different ways. Sometimes I've seen people do it upside down and then they put the space on top. I like to do it just like this. This is what I have had the most luck with, okay? So I'm gonna put in some of my shaker mix. This is from a swap. I'm not sure if I want that piece in there. This is from a swap that I was in. I received. Okay. We're just gonna make sure it looks pretty even. I'm gonna even get a little tool here and move stuff around so I know that it's gonna all fit in there. And this was a little tiny bag of sequin mix, and it is, there's more in there than you think. Okay, looks good. See how this works to pour. This is what this is meant for. Is to pour stuff back into bottles of glitter. That worked pretty good. Okay, so we're ready with that. Okay, now what we're gonna do, I just kind of like to shake it down a little bit. Okay, that's simple enough. Now we're going to take the glue and put it on top of this. We're getting ready to put on our acetate piece, but I'm not going to put the glue on this, okay? I put the glue right onto this. And again, I'm going to kind of towards the outside, let it sit kind of and do a little bit more in those spots. Okay, let it get tacky just a little bit. Just let it dry just for a second here. And then we'll grab, this is Art Glitter Glue, and it is my favorite glue. And very carefully, I can't tell you how many times I have dropped an acetate piece like this onto it, and it hits the glue off center. So what I like to do is kind of guide it towards the bottom, okay? And I do this for any shape that I'm working with. And then just kind of drop the rest in, okay? And then I press, 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 press. And I know that that's gonna stick. There we go. And let's do the other one. Let's do the little strap. So what I like to do is I just kind of use my fingers, and I have put two pieces together on this too because I wanted it to be nice and sturdy, and that just helps it just gives it a little bit of dimension.
Okay, so here comes the fun part, adding the ephemera. I would have loved to include this, these little pieces of ephemera, but they belong to Simple Stories. They are part of the Summer Lovin' kit. These are actually digitals that I did a print to cut on my Cricut. So I'm just going to let you enjoy this part. This is always my favorite part, decorating my project. So that's going to do it for this fun flip-flop memory deck shaker. I hope you take the opportunity to make one for yourself. Have a great summer, friends.